We got it. We're okay. All right. Record has been set. For anybody who couldn't come on today, we're going to be putting this in our YouTube channel. If you don't know about our YouTube channel, it's the New England Keller Williams Region YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. I will be putting that link in the chat section as we're talking along here. Yeah, go find that because there's so many valuable videos that we've done, and today's going to be one of them. So I don't want to spend any more time talking. I want to hand it over to Cassandra and David. Cassandra Cassandra
Van, yeah.
Cassandra Van and David Hancock, they are of the Home Advisor team. They transitioned their entire business into Command, wait for it, in 2018. So anybody who said Command is not ready yet, they're the ones that are going to tell you why they think differently. They are also going to give you best practices of Command, and they're also going to tell you what it looks like to transition your business there. So without further ado, Cassandra, David, welcome. Please introduce yourself and do a better job than I just did.
I think you did great. Cassandra Van, I've been in real estate with Keller Williams here in Lakeland, Florida for 16 years now. We have the team here with three people on the success team, David, Amber, Peggy, and then 5 agents on our team, and we run out of Command. We're excited about it.
Hi, my name is David Hancock. I work in operations with Cassandra. I partnered with her literally 2 years ago.
Sunday was his 2-year. Saturday was his 2-year.
And I've been in the real estate industry for 2 decades. I was a senior forensic review appraiser for Fannie Mae, and also one of the senior forensic review appraisers for the largest due diligence firm in the world. So then I partnered with Cassandra, and ever since then we've been changing lives.
So we decided back in 2018, we heard about this thing called Command. At that time, our team was operating out of Boomtown, but we were just using it as a CRM. So it was a very, very high-end, very expensive CRM. And I thought it was absolutely insane that we were paying so much per month when Command was free. So we totally transitioned the business over and have been on the forefront of everything that has happened. We were in some of the labs. And we're still beta testing certain aspects of it, and have seen a lot of success with getting business from using the tools that Command gives to us. Even from just our monthly neighborhood nurtures that we put our database on, to David and Amber running Facebook ads at pennies for a lead. So we can get into all of that, but it made sense to us to go ahead and jump in, and it was trying in the beginning. We'd have lots of spinning circles, and we would just come back 5 minutes later and check on it again. But we were able to do it, and I would say for the past, I don't know, it seems like good 6-8 months or so, it's been operating very well for us.
And Cassandra, what would you say our savings was by transferring over to Command?
So Boomtown was what, $1,700 or $1,750 a month? And then our Facebook ads, we were spending way more money than $30 per ad on. So at $20,000 a year, at least.
Wow.
Yeah, and in the process of that, so we maintained that mindset of beta testing. And for those that, have that limiting belief that Command's not ready for you, I can assure you that it is. And we see business return from the use of Command on a daily basis. It's absolutely incredible. And some of the stories that we could share are crazy. Matter of fact, what about Brittany the other day?
So we still spend a small amount, very, very small amount on Zillow, way small. We actually cut our budget in half on Zillow because Facebook was giving us such great leads that we were like, why are we spending this? So we had a Zillow call come in, and one of our agents, Brittany, took the call. It was from Zillow. She converted it into a buyer consult, sent them her app. Within seconds, she runs up to me and she's like, look, they've already downloaded my app and they're already using it. So we took them from Zillow over to her personal command, and now she's able to watch what they're doing in command. So she's much more informed with what they're liking, what they're looking at. So just taking them from there over to her, to where now they're looking on her site. They're not going to be looking on Zillow anymore. She's not going to lose them. They're going to be with her.
Yeah, and you think about the power of a small team coming in and disrupting Zillow's business. I think that kind of speaks for itself. And our agents are all, very tech enabled, and we do a lot of training here on the team, and we train within our market center as well to, come from that place of contribution and help to bolster the tech enabled agent. And at the end of the day, like I said, we see a lot of return from command. The automation abilities are awesome right now. It can do so much, and we'll walk through some of that as we get a little bit deeper into it. So we did the transition with command, and we get questions from time to time from agents within KW, and they're asking about maybe a feature or how to make something work. And so our mindset around beta testing, test stuff, figure out a workaround, reach out to your communities. Amber and I are Maps Mastery clients, so we're able to kind of lean on the Maps community as well. And there's also some great resources in social media for how to solve some of those things. The question, though, I think that is missed by most that have not jumped into command is, what does that look like to move the business over? And I think that one of the biggest wins that we did in that initial process was we took and we grabbed the opportunity to scrub our database. So now the database that we have is quality, it's real business. There's not somebody with fake names and numbers, it's all real. So we scrub the database first, then through that process. And that, depending on how big your database is, if you're a single agent, you've got 200 contacts, that can be done very quickly. If you've got, step one, scrub it. And then, for us, we went through and started verifying some of that information in that scrubbing process. So as we did that, it's such a great call to those individuals in your database. We're just asking for their birthday. That's the purpose of our call, so that we can send them a birthday card.
Right.
In that, then they were able to verify their contact info, all of that. And then once we got our total database ready to go, we were able to upload in command. We didn't have all these things where you're uploading and then exporting and then re-uploading. Cut the fat. So we had a much larger database when we started.
Well, we had a lot of Boomtown leads in there that were no number, no email. And it's like, why are they even in here? Like, why is this a number on our our count? Because it's nothing. We have nothing. So we had Peggy, our client care coordinator, doing a lot of it, although the agents did some as well. So if you're a single agent, it's very doable to do on your own. If you have a team, or even if you just don't have the time, it's worth hiring somebody as well to have them scrub that. But it's so the never ending referral system, where it's 2 letters a week. And that's kind of what we did, is we just went our 2 letters a week, went through and went down our checklist of, do we have a accurate name? Do we have a phone number? Do we have an email? Do we have an address? Do we have a birthday? And then once we have the all of that information, we need to put in, if we have their address, add them to the neighborhood nurture. If we have their birthday, add them to the birthday smart plan. And then just go person by person, which sounds like a daunting task, but in 13 weeks, you'll have a scrubbed and very clean database.
Right. And then you're able to then take those data points and use it to develop touches. The other option, if that seems like too much, start from your most recent transaction and then do all of your 2020 transactions. Then go back and do December 2019. Then do November 2019. So you could work it back that way too, because you're going to get chances are you're going to get more people answering the phone that you just closed a deal with, as opposed to people that you closed a deal with in 2006. Right. And one of the approaches to business that we share here, and it's mirrored in the book Atomic Habits, you should read And it pushes the 1% movements, right? These small incremental movements towards your journey, right? And instead of being overwhelmed, oh my gosh, for instance, we started probably, I think it was north of 8,000 contacts. We're down just south of 4,000.
Which the goal is not to lose contacts, but
No.
we didn't have, like, those were boomtown leads that just were not real. They weren't real. So, you know, you think, oh my gosh, I went from 8,000 to I think we're at 5,000. I just sent out 5,000 texts to 5,000. It's like, oh, we lost part of our database. No, you didn't. You lost people that weren't going to do business with you. You couldn't contact even if you tried, because you don't have real information to people who are actually going to open your emails, respond to your text messages, respond to thank you so much for the birthday card. You've got real people. So even if your number ends up being a little smaller, they're real.
Right. And you can actually go in and tell you open emails. Like, the depth of this system is crazy. And if we were to break down and go through every module and tell you everything that it does, it would blow your mind. So we're going to touch on some of that as much as we can. The first step, though, is definitely to go ahead and scrub your database and then just work backwards. Like Cassandra says, start at 2020 and then begin building it over time. What you're going to see is that success always leaves clues. And if every single one of you're CEOs of your own company right now, right? And if you look at, great CEOs from large corporations, tech companies, and otherwise, you're going to notice that they have a morning routine and a nightly routine. What's your morning routine? Are you working in your business all day, or are you taking time out of your day, time blocking in your calendar to work on your business? So for instance, Cassandra in the evening time will block out sometimes maybe just 15 minutes, maybe an hour. It can always vary in whatever works best for you and your 1% movements. And taking the time to do so, you end up in those incremental steps with that full transition into command. So block into your calendar a little bit of time in the morning, a little bit of time in the evening to update contacts or call people and get those birthdays. And then
cross-reference them on Facebook,
right.
Because everyone should be friended with their clients on Facebook, which I know may sound weird to some people, but I'm friended with a majority of my clients on Facebook, and I watch what they're doing. If they're selling their washer and dryer, I got a listing because I saw one of my clients selling a washer and dryer, and I reached out, hey, what's going on? You're selling your washer and dryer? Yeah, we're thinking about moving. Oh, you probably want to come over and tell us. Oh, yeah. So it's just something that simple, but their birthdays are on Facebook, and then you can put their Facebook profile into command as well, so that you're connected that way.
And while we're touching on that,
can they see that?
No, I don't have it open for them right now.
Okay.
So you might want to have a pin ready. How do you get a contact to 100%? This is something that we figured. So each one of these will give you the percentage for each section.
This is for those people that have a high C that really want their contacts to 100%.
That's me.
That's not Cassandra or myself, right? Okay. We're listening, we promise.
Some people care about it, right? It's neat when I have a contact at 100%. It's like, oh, so, okay, I have all their info.
The competition side of you is like, yes, 100%.
Right.
The logistic part,
well, I go in and compare to people in my production bracket, and then people in my market center, and then people in a production bracket higher than me. That is the competition side of me, where I'm like, how am I doing compared to other people?
Right.
Which you can do that too. That's another feature.
So first and last name is going to get you to 20%. Their email is going to get you another 20%. Their phone number is going to get you another 20%. Their address, which you have to have their primary address to set them up on a monthly neighborhood nurture, that's another 20%. Their birthday is 4%. Their work info and job title is another 4%. Having your tags, be it custom tags or system tags, is going to be 4%. The lead source, very important to track that, is another 4%. And their social, like Cassandra was saying, their Instagram, their Twitter, their Facebook, you add that in there, that's going to be another 4%. So how does command work for us? I can only see a portion of you guys, but if you can raise your hand if you've logged into Command or you're using it right now.
Oh,
Wow,
yay!
awesome, congratulations. That's what's up. Okay, so a lot of you guys are familiar. When we began this, we would oftentimes get asked the question, so how do you log in? So that's awesome that you guys have seen the value proposition in that. And that's the difference between sharks and guppies, right? The sharks are the ones that are the early innovators. They're the ones that are chasing that bell curve. And then the guppies are the ones that miss the wave. So that means that all of you guys are sharks in the water right now. And oh, that's awesome. So, wow, entirely moved over to Command. That's awesome. Yeah, this is the way to do it. Look, we've got lead routing. We've got leads that we can generate. I actually.
Oh, what's the name of the book?
Oh, we got
Atomic Habits. Okay, I just saw that. I just got excited.
So we actually can outpace our agents in lead and generating leads for them to lead generate with. Does that make sense? So I have to throttle sometimes on how many leads I'm generating because we, speed the lead is a thing. And so if we're outpacing our agents, then it doesn't make sense to spend that money. And since if you ever read the book Profit First, that's how you should be looking at your business, is from a profit perspective. And
Guys, we just had Mike McAllowitz here in March, right before the pandemic, like
really?
the day before.
That's
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we're on pace with that. So keep going. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, profits in the pennies. So anywhere where you can cut costs or increase a couple pennies, that's great. So using the availability of the modules in Command, we continue to cut pieces out of the business and lever Command more and more. So at this point, do you guys have any specific questions that you might ask?
Like certain sections of Command that you want to dive deeper into, or
I'm definitely interested in the smart plans. We're a team in New Hampshire. We've got our database all in Command. We are using it for opportunities and commissions, but we're not really solid on the smart plans and the lead routing, and how to really navigate that for our team and to be able to set it for many, many months into the future. Kind of set it and forget it kind of thing.
So as the team leader, there's a couple of things in Command that aren't set for perfect yet for teams. Smart plans is one of them. I cannot wait until they have that we can share the smart plans within our team.
Hey, Fred, can we give them that good news, or do we have to wait? Fred Moore is on the call, and he is one of our regional tech trainers.
Yes.
Tell me.
Fred, can we share that information? Oh, okay. It's shareable. You could shareable. It's shareable either now or within the next week. Hopefully Fred could confirm that with me, but that is the news.
Yeah, sorry about that. My mic was muted, but we went live today with labbing the shareable smart plan libraries with all of the labs advisors and regional tech trainers. So we'll be working on that, and hopefully we'll see that in your commands here in the near future.
That's the one thing that we've been sitting here going, when are they going to do this? Because we've created so many smart plans that are in, like I've went in and created them, and then all I do is like screenshot them or whatever and share them with the team. I'm like, all right, guys, go in and build this smart plan. Well, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
I build playbooks, and then I share that in the team drive, and then the team is able to then take those playbooks, copy and paste, and put the identifiers in and create the smart plan. So the ability to share. Look at the development team that we have on Command.
Right.
There are things that are even early in the process, and we were involved in some of the labs where we might have an idea, and then 2 weeks later it's implemented for everybody in Command. How awesome! So thanks to our developers, thanks to the tech trainers, man, that's huge.
That's awesome. So as far as the smart plans go, we've built out a lot of our own because we knew that there was some that were lacking. The open house smart plan that's in there, it's okay, but it's not really exactly what we like to do. It's very, it's not as aggressive, I guess you'd say, as our team likes to do. So we've created more. We've created, I know Nick Baldwin has the Facebook follow-up, but we've taken that and went a little bit more extreme with that one. I don't know if they have the template for the birthday one, but I think we added to it. We've got the home anniversary one. What else do we have in there? We have a bad number to where, like, if a lead comes in and it has a bad number, but it has an email address, we're constantly hitting them on their email. Hey, what's a good number I could reach you at? How can I follow up? Blah, blah, blah. Like, can I text you? What's a good number I can text you at? Just trying to get them to respond. They do. So you can set that up. If let's say you're trying to get their email address or their address, you can do a text only smart plan. We do use Twilio. It's our text number. We do bulk texting. We just did a home buying seminar. We're about to do another reverse bold, and I send out 5,000 texts at a time to our entire database. And I use the bulk action. So you click the 50, you go up to the bulk action, you type it out, send it. It's for 5,000. It costs $130 to send out 5,000 through Twilio. Make sure, just so that this is something that my coach told me, that he's getting these texts, but he didn't know who they were from. So when you write the text message, make sure you do like Cassandra Van with Home Advisors Team at Keller Williams, because it's not coming from your phone number. It's coming from a local 863 or our area code 863 number, but it's not like they don't have it stored in there. So I sign my signature so they know who it's from. The first couple times I did it, I didn't sign it because I just figured it would show, and it didn't. So, details. So sign it when you send those out, but you do bulk text. The bulk SMS is what it's called. Oh boy, there's a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm. You guys got
yes,
questions.
we use Twilio. The agent. So when our agents go in at the top, you can pick it. So the market center has to connect the agent to your command account. So you've got to tell them, obviously they have to know they're on your team and connect them. And then at the top, we've got the pull down tab that says Home Advisors Team. So when any of our agents are obviously entering contacts, going into opportunities, whatever the case may be, they always have to check and make sure that the Home Advisors Team thing is picked at the top. Does that answer that question? Is that what they were pretty much asking? And then when you go into DocuSign, when they're linked in the market center, then they're able to go in and see all the transactions and everything in DocuSign, because the agent is linked with our team and it's under the Home Advisors Team pull down.
Right. If the agent does not have the Home Advisors Team pull down selected from the contacts view or from the main dashboard home view, then whenever they create opportunities, they're not going to be visible to the team. So just, make sure that your team's aware of that. For sure. And what happens is, from DocuSign command integration, Cassandra would be the agent owner. The listing agent one may be Kyle, right? And so they're linked and they're accessible from Cassandra or Kyle's DocuSign or command. Another thing on the DocuSign tip, something that we did because not everything was exactly how we liked it. We had some issues with some of the documents that were available. So we actually went through and built out our own custom templates.
Not we, David.
I went through and built out custom templates that force both the agent and the clients, buyers, sellers, to every field, so that we cut down on admin time and company dollar spend, because there's not back and forth. We know that every compliance document that's signed through our DocuSign is going to be perfect. It's going to have every initial and it's going to have every signature field. So sometimes then you can actually export those templates and upload them. It's a huge coding file, but you're able to copy that, and then you can actually upload it into your the DocuSign accounts for all the members on your team. Regarding team functions, that's a great question. And for us, being a smaller team, everything works. We don't have issues with anything.
Right.
The larger your team is, the more it's going to be a little weird with things like lead routing.
Lead routing works perfect for us. They get
Right.
their little bell notification, and I think the emails or something else. Like
Yeah, they get
an
email notification, and
when a new lead comes in. When a new lead comes in, it notifies me. They get the little bell. They get notified, and the lead is shared. So it comes in, if I'm not mistaken, they come into mine, but they're shared with the other agents, so that we have access to them. Or if I put a lead in and they also want to buy, I can share it with I can share that contact. We can both put notes in, and I can choose whether they can edit the lead or not.
Right.
So they can either change stuff in it or not. And as the leader, I'm making that call.
Right. And that's the cool thing about Command is that it is able to be tailored to your business, how you prefer to run your business. How we do our business is different than other teams. We own anything, any team generated lead we own, right? The cool thing about Command is that people can come together with their commands and they can separate with their commands and they pull apart pretty seamlessly. If you come across the unfortunate case to where you're offboarding someone.
So quality leads. So when the COVID thing was going on, we live in Central Florida and they did not allow short-term rentals for 30 days. You could not book short-term rentals, and we live near all the attractions and everything. So in Davenport, where we cover, and there's a lot of short-term, we ran a campaign that was short-term rental costing you more than it's worth, and there was a couple variations of that. And I got a listing off of it, 400, our average price point is like 212, and I got $400,000 listing off of that, specifically running to that, thing. We targeted the short-term rentals and all of that. And then just running ads on our listings tends to bring in buyer leads. And those are, they're the leads coming in off Facebook are, I think, more qualified than your typical internet lead. And David does specific targeting when you go in. Don't do the, which is fine if you just do the presets, but the way to get the better response and the better bang for your buck is to do the specific targets that he does. And it's $30 for 10 days. And he's targeting, clicking the boxes. So there's a ton of boxes that you can pull down depending on what you're going to be targeting and what makes sense. So I think there's like a short-term rental, a rental, a lease, a Zillow, Realtor.com.
Mortgage calculator. Yeah. Listen, I'm running, when I first started these ads, and I think that's one of the correlations between the quality. Whenever I began running them, I might have 5 targets, right? Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, Homes.com. You know what I mean? Now I target running closer to 40 targets and within 30 miles of the listing. The algorithm for advertised listing tends to be better with Facebook, and it tends to pull more leads. So, and here's something let's say you're a single agent and you don't quite have listings just yet. Well, you can contact probably an agent from a team in your market center and ask them if it's okay for you to advertise their listings. They're getting free marketing out of it, and you get the leads. It's just like doing an open house.
Yep. So as far as transparency goes, I can click on the database as a whole, the entire database, or I can just click a certain agent, and I can see, you can sort it by last contacted.
Yep.
And I can see which lead has been sent to that agent, when it was sent to them, and the last time they contacted it. If they never contacted it, it's pulled and it's sent to someone else who will. There's a ton of transparency for us to be able to see what's going on, and they know that. And they know if they're not contacting them, we're pulling them, because that means they're too busy to call them. So we're going to pull them. We're going to send them to somebody else that will. So I can sort the database by last contacted, and that's where I tell the agent it's very important to log all of your communication into the database, because you might be calling them, but if I don't see that you've made that call in the database, it's going to show up that you haven't contacted it. So we're, run everything through so that we can see what's going on. So there's plenty of transparency. There's reports that you can pull, and you can watch as the team leader or the rainmaker, you can see everything that's happening in your business.
Right. And you can see how there's actually, even on your dashboard page and in the reportings, if you go to the reports tab, you can pull everyone on your team. You can see how many contacts they've made. It's almost like CTE in a way of being able to see like exactly what they're doing with their business. So that level of transparency is across the board. It's pretty powerful.
The emails that we send out, it says Cassandra Van, Home Advisors Team, Keller Williams Realty. If they're in Kyle's database, it's going to send out from Kyle Donzie, Home Advisors Team, Keller Williams Realty. So it's signed, or even the text messages that send out, we want to make sure that they know where it's coming from. And so like if Kyle is sending one out, it's coming from him, his name. It's not coming from my name. I hope if that makes sense.
Regarding plugins, connect everything. So we have everything connected to Twilio. And when you set up your Twilio, make sure that you buy a local number. And I'll explain kind of like what that looks like for us. So we don't have, 8 different Twilio accounts. We have one central account. When I'm speaking with the clients, and this you can run yours totally different. Every agent can have their own individual Twilio account. But what we do is we call it the HAT hotline, Home Advisors Team. So we call it the HAT hotline, and that's how they get updates, client events, all that kind of stuff. They can get updates on their process as well, but it's one centralized number for all of that. So Cassandra can see everything that's going on and when there are responses from something that Kyle sends out on his smartphone.
Yeah, I get notified.
So that's a good piece. Twilio is huge. We have Command email now. Command also reports what the percentage is of the emails that you're sending are opened, and you have 5,000 emails you can send out a month for free. If you need to open it up bigger, you can. There's a very minimal cost at that. So that's another huge piece.
Agents are responsible for entering in their own contacts. Yes, they do. And then, yes, agents are responsible for, once they have a contact, they create the opportunity. As far as the docs go, everything's in DocuSign already. So they go into DocuSign, they get the executed contract in DocuSign. So that's there. So when we let Amber know that we have an executed contract, all the documents are in DocuSign already. The opportunity is already there. And then she sends out her welcome letter from that and manages through. So she's moving the opportunities. Our transaction coordinator is moving the opportunities. It is up to the agent to put the offer in. So we put in the offer, which then opens the commissions tab for Amber to do the commissions, the DA, the commissions. So Amber will process the transaction once she has an executed contract, pre-approval letter, proof of funds, a contact, an opportunity, and the offer.
Right.
So once that's in and everything's central for her to be able to go in, get it all and process it and follow up and everything. But that is agent responsibility. Same thing for a listing. I actually turned a listing in today to David, and literally while I was driving here, I'm like, crap, I don't think I put it in the opportunity. So he's going to hand it back to me and say, you've got to finish your job. So I got to make sure that I've got my contact and my opportunity all set up, but then they move it throughout.
Right. And so from an ops perspective and from the agent perspective, it's very important for the agent to be utilizing what Command is, it was built to be in line with MREA, right? And when you look at the sales pipeline, the listings pipeline, how else would you know exactly where your business is? We know where our business is every single day. We know what's coming through. We know what the potential income is of that and what the likely outcome is going to be. We can make smart decisions regarding how we're going to pivot in our investments with the team and the company dollar. We know where everything is. We know that Cassandra's been on like 78 appointments. Of those, this many were kept, and we know what her conversion ratio is. So I can plan ahead knowing what my listings are going to look like for intake. So having your business available at a glance is extremely powerful in the opportunity section, and that should, in my opinion, be handled by the agent up until you get an executed listing agreement or an executed contract, at which time then operations moves it for us.
Right. They don't know about, the appointments. Well, they do know because they're in there, but as far as being on their radar, they know once it's a listing executed or a contract executed. But when I sit down, I have a monthly one-on-one, I can look at the agent's pipeline, right? So if their goal is to close 48 transactions in a year and they only have, 12 appointments or whatever, you know what I mean? I can look at it and be like, okay, so let's look at your pipeline. Let's look at what your business looks like based upon your conversion ratios. And let's see, do these numbers make sense? Are you going to be able to hit your goal based upon this? Or do you need more contacts? Do you need more appointments? I can look at what is real. And if they're like, oh, well, everything's not entered in there, well, then go enter it and come back when you do so that I can see what's going on in your business, because sticky notes or yellow notepad isn't going to cut it anymore. We have the technology to be able to handle real time what's going on.
Also, with the app, there's buyer and seller guides that are built into the app, and those actually marry with the stages in Command. So what's going to happen is as you move it along, it will actually update the client, buyer or seller, where they are in the transaction. The appraisal has been ordered, escrow has been deposited. They'll get that update actually on their app, and it marries with the guides and the stages in Command, which is pretty awesome as well.
So contract to close, I just had a call with our regional tech director, and he is going to have a call with David and Amber about checklists within the opportunities in Command so that we can build out our contract to close. Unfortunately, to this date, we don't have in place contract to close through Command, although it's coming. Because they do have the checklist. We're learning how to use those. So once you put in the offer, and the opportunities, then it talks about who the co-broke agent is and all of that. So she gets it all either from DocuSign, the opportunity, or the offer that's in Command is where Amber gets all the information to be able to process the transaction. How do you create a closing folder? So that's it. Everything is in there. And you can add notes. Like we can put notes in Command about the file. But we're learning about the task list right now that's coming out, that's happening.
And just a quick follow-up on that. As you know, anyone who used to work with Top Producer or something like that, you're used to creating like a file jacket so that your transaction coordinator can look at a deal and say, this is the buyer's attorney, the seller's attorney, the inspector, the appraiser, the fire department, the smoke department. It's like, where do we put everyone in that one basket so that someone who's, managing the transaction knows the one place to go where everything is? Does that exist or not yet?
Notes right now is kind of what we're using.
But notes in what?
In the opportunity.
So just just notes that you'd have to like scroll through looking, who's the appraiser on this one? So that's it. Okay, thank you.
So I know that they're building that out. I know that that's in the process. It's not perfect yet. But yeah, as far as that goes, everything's in there. It's just a matter of her, knowing where to look to find it.
Right.
Another way to do that is you can actually go in and create custom fields and make custom fields for appraiser for title. And that way you can kind of search that way.
I love it.
Until they work it out.
Yeah, that's part of the masterminding process, and you're able to work with other agents that are maybe using it, look at their system,
what they're doing,
and then you can replicate it. And then based on that, instead of recreating the wheel from scratch, you can just build on other people's approach to their business.
Yep. Amber has access to everyone's DocuSign because we're linked in as a team. So everyone in on the team, she has access to all of their contacts, all of their opportunities. When you go into opportunity, you click into DocuSign, it takes her into there.
Right. And whenever if you have built a template in DocuSign for one of your teams, Melissa, you can go to that page where the template's kept, and then you can export it, and that's that huge code. And then once you copy that, you log into the other agent or your own DocuSign, and then it upload template from file or something like that. It's on the left-hand side. You can select that, and then you can copy that coding in there. Once you click the next button, that template populates with all the fields assigned how they were, whether that's room participant or role.
So on our team, only one agent's getting the bell notification of new leads. That's in your lead routing.
Right.
So you've got to go into your lead routing and set your rules of who's getting what when. So it might only be set to one agent. If you haven't went in there and set that lead routing, that's where you can find that. It's on the left-hand side. And
yeah, and just so you guys know, we're monitoring the questions too. So anything we don't get to today or anything that you guys don't have answers to, our regional tech trainers are on it, and we're going to be responding, and we'll be sending out some information on anything that we don't cover that's in that chat section today. So guys, if they're not directly answering what you put in there, don't worry. We see it. We're gonna work with you on it and answer those questions.
One of the questions was regarding smart plans and triggers. Triggers are not live just yet. We can trigger another smart plan though.
Mhm.
So like the smart plans have a limit on how many steps or touches.
Right.
And so you can actually link them together. So like
Yeah.
Kyle will have whatever the scenario is, 1, and then the same smart plan continuing as 2. So then 1 triggers the second, and it just keeps on going. And just to think about it, some people are asking about, well, why doesn't Command have a 36 touch built in? And it does. The long-term nurture is a 36 touch because it's a touch every 10 days. You marry that with the monthly neighborhood nurture. Now you're at 48 touches. So our intention is to have an 8 billion touch system. So
we're about halfway there.
Right, through linking, and it's actually the layering of smart plans,
Right.
which allows.
So they have the neighborhood nurture, they have the home anniversary, they have the birthday, they have, you know, it's the quarterly, it's constant. Do agents enter their opportunities under the team name or their name? So when they log in to Command, they're logging into their command. They pull down the our team, home advisors team section. I don't know, pull down, click it, and then everything is being done under home advisors, under ours, so that everyone has access to it.
Right, and we like to have transparency within the team because we want the team to see the amount of success that we're having, right? So, and that's not everyone. With us though, we want them to be able to see the business at a glance, see everyone's business at a glance.
So if your market center is still on dot loop, I think you've got to have the transaction. Well, you've got it. So I know you have to have a contact to have an opportunity, and then you've got to have the offer in the opportunity. So you've got to have an opportunity to do the offer, and then the offer opens up the commission tab. So I think you can export, like download from dot loop your documents to put them into the opportunities section, but you can fill in the offers to open up the commissions tab, if that makes sense.
Just want to chime in really quick. You can also connect through applications dot loop to your command and use it similar how everyone else is using DocuSign.
Right. And our transition out of dot loop was intentional, and we I've actually grown much more fond of DocuSign over time. And there was actually an agent that was reached out to by Zillow, and they were asking, okay, well, did you get any offers on this? Da, 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 da. They were asking questions, and one of the times they answered, and the agent asked them, well, how did you get that information? And that's whenever the representative from Zillow informed them that they've got a team which actually verifies whether contracts are in dot loop, and they scrub that with the properties on MLS, and then they reach out because the contact information is in dot loop. So they're targeting clients basically via that information, which is why, you know, Gary and Josh and others were, you know, supporting the move away from dot loop and working more in DocuSign.
So just to kind of give you guys a perspective of what we do as far as our mindset with beta testing, when the office was talking about transitioning over from dot loop to DocuSign, I went to my MCA and said, how can we help you? Is there something we can do to beta test for you? Do you want to run some transactions with our team to see how it works? And then we can communicate on what kind of notifications you're getting. Can we help you build out some of the templates? Is there something we can do to help you with this transition? And that goes a long way. So if, instead of sitting back going, oh, which none of you are doing this, but I'm sure you hear other people that are like, oh, I wonder why we haven't transitioned yet, or how come this isn't working, or why isn't this working? Go and see what you can do to help, right? And so now they're coming to us saying, hey, we just did this. Can you check and see what it looks like on your side? And we're working together to get all the office up and running, and getting everybody on board. And because they don't know most of the time, like what our side looks like. And so we're working with them. And we did early on, particularly with when commissions were open, they actually opened it up for us so that we could beta test it with them. So consider that if, you know, your office or your MCA or somebody's kind of challenged or having a hard time, go ask them, what can we do? Can we beta test this with you? Do you need help with this? And it could be any section of this at all, just so that you can work together with them and kind of just help out the whole situation.
So with the question talking about an agent, and like, let's say you have the unfortunate opportunity where people separate, we actually, like operations, if someone's working with a lead, like we can assign it to them and that can be theirs. We own it though. So that means if that person separates, we own it. So it can't leave Cassandra's database. It stays with us, data bank, sorry. So you just, it's all, Command can do so many different approaches to business. So it's how you prefer. We prefer to own everything, and then we can assign out, but then they pull apart. So
is there any way to test a campaign beforehand? Yeah.
Yes.
Create yourself in there. Or I'll tell you what I do a lot of times when I'm creating these, because when you do the SMS text and you're typing it, it's typed all on one line in Command. So I'll type it, but I'll apply it to David. So I'll do a bulk ad, but I only add him. I only send it to him. And then he'll screenshot it and send it back to me so that I can see what it looks like. And I'll get him to review it, or Amber to review it, or Kyle to review it and say, is this the message we want to send? Are there any typos, anything I need to change? Does it look good? We send it out to either myself, or you put your admin on a smart plan, or put yourself on a smart plan. And then that way you can see what it is before you pull the trigger and send it out. But that's for like, if you're sending out messages or anything like that. If you're doing smart plans, it shows you, like you can preview, if I'm not mistaken. And then the ads, the previews on the side, on the Facebook ads, the previews on the side when you're creating those too.
Yeah, and for anything that you're doing in Command, always have yourself in the database, or however you want to do it. Always have a test, because you want to beta test everything that you do before you send it out to the public. So you can see how it looks, make sure that it's formatted correctly. And even links, do I need to use bit.ly to shorten this link for a text message or something, so that you don't have 4 lines of some landing page or whatever.
So I have a ton of smart plans. I know that Kyle's created smart plans. He does for sale by owners a lot. And so he created a smart plan for sale by owners. I don't have that one. That's what he created. He does that. And so I sat with him and we talked about what it would look like, what would make sense. And he created it. Now that we're able to share, now our whole team will be able to have it. So that's exciting. But I know that he has one for expires and he has ones for FSBOs, that the other, like, he'll share it with us if we want, and then we can build it out. It's what we've been doing. But I know that he has a for sale by owner smart plan in his Command that he uses, that I don't have it because he created it. I helped him, through, but he created it. And then I have certain smart plans that I've created that I saw a need for, that we've shared, but I don't know if they've created it, but now we can share them. But so he can create his own smart plans. That's fine. And Brittany can create her own smart plan. And like, if she's farming and she wants to create a smart plan for her farm, by all means, go for it. And when it's working and when it starts working, let us know so that we can do the same.
Right. And you can do not only schedule out just standard social media posts, you can run your ads, you can order postcards, you can farm areas, you can do like all that stuff all within Command, which is pretty powerful too.
How do you hand double-sided deals? So
Two opportunities.
Yeah, I double-side. Because I work with investors. I do short sales and investors. I double-side those. And so, yeah, it's a listing opportunity and then a buyer side opportunity. It's 2 completely separate opportunities that are running. And it's just the way your team is set up, right? If you're set up that you get all the listings and you do not work with buyers no matter what, and you give those to your team members, then your team member is going to have that buy side opportunity and you're going to have the list side opportunity.
Right.
Are you saying there that you would be assigning that same lead to the agent? Because you've only got the one lead, right? So the listing agent is working in their own command account on the listing side.
Mhm.
And then your buyer agent is working the same lead in their command for the buyer side.
So they would have that lead and they'd just create another opportunity for that lead. I have leads that I have multiple opportunities for. Like when Hiram, I sold his listing, Kyle sold him a house, and I'm selling his duplex now. So he's got 3 opportunities. 2 of them are in mine, one's in his, but we're shared with our team.
But the listing agent can't see the actual opportunity, correct? I mean, for compliance reasons.
I'm the team leader and listing agent, so I have access to everything.
Right.
So including all of the agreements, the offer, everything, there's no compliance issues with that?
No, we're transaction brokers in Florida.
Yeah, you are, every state is different with that kind of compliance, Bob. So
yeah, you guys might be completely different. We're transaction brokers here. So we're not single agents. So I don't know how that would work with you guys if that's a different relationship.
Yeah. Definitely want to remain compliant. No matter
Yeah. So during negotiations and things like that, we handle it how we should. You know what I mean? But as far as compliance with Amber and all of that, yeah, we can go in and see all that.
You guys, can I ask a couple of questions before we wrap up here? Because that hour was the fastest. Was it an hour? Was that just an hour?
Right.
We started at 2, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So anybody who wants to throw some questions in, please throw them in the chat. Like I said, if we don't get to them today, Fred Moore, Maggie McDowell, myself are going to tackle all of those questions for you guys. We're going to track you down and we're going to respond to you. Okay. So we're going to handle that piece. I have a couple questions though, just to kind of wrap this all up. Cassandra, how proactive have you been with Command? Would you say that your level of interaction with Command as the Rainmaker team lead been high, medium, or low? And why?
Super high, super
high.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on. I mean, it's the system that I run my whole business out of. And so I need to be on top of what's coming up, what's new. I mean, what are the new systems that we're able to use or tools within within Command, right? So that we can stay on top of it. No catch up. We don't want to get behind. We don't want someone to know about something and we not know about it, and we want to be able to utilize what's given to us to be able to keep our database doing business with us. And so if we're sending out our birthday cards and our monthly neighborhood nurture and calling them 4 times and inviting them to our events and all of that, and what else can we be doing to keep that business within our team, to capture people in our spider web and keep them there? What tools are letting us do that? Because every week there is something that's moving us ahead, that 1%. And so, yeah, I'm very involved I'm on all the Facebook groups. I'm looking at what's new. I'm looking at how people are utilizing it. What are best practices? All of it.
I love that. And for the Rainmaker on here that may not engage fully because it's just not their thing, what advice would you give to them?
I like saving money and having profit. And
that goes right into my next question, actually.
That's what made it my thing.
Yeah, I hear you. I love it. I love that. And so my next question, which you just teed me up for, is you said it at the beginning, but I kind of wanted to hit home a little bit. How much money are you now saving by transitioning over completely to Command?
It's over $20,000 a year.
A year or a month?
It's over $20,000 a year.
A year
was like $1,750. But if we talk about our postcards that we order that are way cheaper, we cut our Zillow spend in half. So it's actually probably closer to $30,000.
So $30,000 you saved, and then you said that you got business from Command. What is that like? What does that look like? How much business?
Geez. Have we tracked any of that?
Gosh,
I wish we would have tracked it.
Do you think it's more than $20,000 or $30,000 in commission?
Oh yes. Yes. From the Facebook ads, from at least 1 to 2 of my database who's on my monthly neighborhood nurture, at least 1 to 2 responses a month about new business. Hey, I see that you're sending this out. I have a question about this. And it leads to an appointment. somehow. They're reaching out to me somehow. I had someone reach out to me about, hey, do I know anybody who does termites, like a termite? Apparently his house had termites. I'm like, oh, yes, absolutely. I responded. He's like, great. Thinking about getting my house on the market. And I'm like, oh, great. And it's just, it was an orphan buyer.
They're out there, right? That's why they're on Zillow.
I didn't even sell him that house. I don't even know who it is, but he's on my neighborhood monthly campaign because we have his email address from somewhere, because we do reverse bold, people call him, whatever the case may be. And so, business that I wouldn't have had is coming off of this automated, they think I'm sending out this really beautiful email every month.
Yeah, no.
It's pretty awesome.
It goes out and I don't even know it.
They're actually, which likely will be released sometime soon, but there's an email editor that's coming our way, which is going to allow us to do those newsletters, allow us to add our designs and stuff into email campaigns and have that editing function all within Command as well. So that's going to be another huge piece for that.
That's awesome. Any final thoughts before we wrap up today?
I would say piece it down. Do small little sections at a time. It has so many features, it can be overwhelming. And so I would first start off with getting your database filled in, putting people on the monthly neighborhood nurture. That's super simple. At least you've got something once a month contacting these people. Then you can put them on the quarterly plan while you're in there. Then you've got a 12, 16 follow-up step already in place. Go in and toy around with the ads. You're not going to break anything. Go in and check it out. Run an ad, do a lead router, run an ad, see what kind of return you get. I would just go in and start using it, start experimenting with it, and then tweaking it. Join these Facebook groups. There's so many Facebook groups out there that are, command your conversion. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Take command. I don't know. There's like so many that I join. KW Command, command your conversion. Keller Williams Command 66-day challenge. Lab code agents. I don't know that one. Remote Revolution.
Peter, what do you think?
Brindley Tucker.
Oh, Brindley.
Any insight?
So join these Facebook
So here's
groups.
what I'm doing here. See what I'm doing? I turned on the hose. Notice a notice
I don't
in
know
here.
who that is.
Here's what I'm doing here.
I don't even know who that is.
It's like maybe something is coming in someplace, and I don't think it's coming up high. And so I'm letting it.
Anybody know who that is so I can mute him?
And not running it a lot. I'm kind of trying to see if
Bob
Gill down there.
Bob Gill.
And I was
Bob
trying
Gill?
to
Oh,
find
Gill.
out there. The water's going in there.
He's muted.
Continuing to keep under.
All
So I'll
right.
hang up. I'm an engineer.
Still
So
going.
I go, I've got problems. I always go, what's the root cause? What's causing it?
I would
And
say
so
go in
let's
and
just
break it
do-
down. We do our 411s, and we have,
No, it would be
every week.
the big rainstorm we had.
You want me to keep talking?
Oh, 3 or 4 or 5.
I'm trying. I can't even mute him because he's muted. I don't really know what
Hanging
the
back.
the challenge is.
Does anybody have his phone number?
Yeah. Try muting everybody and then
Yeah.
unmuting your guests.
You don't go down in that room, do you? With him, I was in there and I didn't see it. It's one of those things is, I'm using, but it was, it had to be there.
You should be able to mute him now. He's showing up.
So what do you want to suggest? What are they going to do? They're going to have someone,
You guys,
I'll talk to them. I will, I'll bring in, if that thing's running, if you're going to be around, make sure you empty that out.
Can you exit him out altogether?
kick him
There
out
we
of
go.
here.
There we go.
Okay, so I would just say break it down to little pieces. Find out maybe what's going to push your business ahead 1% this week, and then focus on that for the week, and then next week. But here's the thing: take a minute to work in your business, on your business, so that you can plan out and map out what you're going to do for the month. So that when you've done what you were planning on doing this week, you've already got next week planned. And then you have next week planned, and you have next week planned. So don't look at it of, oh my gosh, I have so much to learn. Look at it of, I'm going to read, 5 posts a day and learn something new, or I'm going to focus on, running one ad campaign and tweaking it to make it better, or, whatever the case may be. Just focus on that one thing you're going to do this week to learn about. Maybe you're going to build one smart plan a week. of a bad number smart plan, or you're going to add to your Facebook follow-up, something like that. Hope that helps.
Yep.
Awesome. You guys, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you being here. I know that you guys don't get paid for this, so thank you so much for just spending an hour with us. You really did pour into our region, so we really appreciate you. And if there's anything we could do for you, please let us know. We'd love to come into your region and do whatever we can. And guys, I hope you thought that this really enlightened your Monday, answered some questions, and you saw a team that is really using Command at the highest level possible and making money from it. So that's what we wanted to share with you today. We hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. All of you fathers out there, I hope you had a great Father's Day yesterday. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Go in your
That's
command,
great.
go in referrals, and add me to your network.
There you go. That is why Cassandra is Cassandra and part of the Home Advisors team. Congratulations. Great job, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.